This session is all about balance, creating balance within the body, balance between body and mind, and stability, strengthening those proprioceptive systems that allow you to put one foot in front of the other. Let's begin. So I would like you to start with your feet together, taking your toes into a small V, and then bringing your heels out. So you're in a parallel position. There should be fist-width distance between the base of your big toes. Thinking about opening up through the collarbones and finding length within your spine. So thinking about the crown of the head reaching up to the ceiling. As you're doing this, I want you to always think about maintaining that connection with the ground and with the ceiling. So you really do feel like you're creating space between your bones. Think about the feet drawing and pressing down through the floor, and feel like the crown of the head is trying to stretch your spine. At the same time, I want you to think about creating this space and this width around your collarbones. So you're creating width and length. You're going to keep your knees soft and your big toes pressing into the floor. I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. As if you're opening up the back of your throat, you're going to inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, I want you to feel like the collarbones are opening wider. And exhale, grow taller. And again, inhale into those ribs. And exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And then you're going to bring your weight forwards into the balls of your feet, changing the balance within the body. And then bring the weight through center and into the heels, keeping your toes on the ground. You won't be able to go as far as you go forward. And then moving again forwards and backwards. So just bringing the body forwards and taking the body backwards. Just thinking about how the body feels as it's moving forwards and how it feels as it's moving backwards. And is everything feeling balanced? Do you feel like you've got even weight between your left and your right foot? And then I want you to bring everything back so you are centered again. So everything is balanced between the big toe and the heel. And then we're going to take out that weight and put it into that right side. And then we're going to bring it back to center. And then we're going to go to the left side as moving as one whole unit. So the body doesn't bend, it doesn't side bend yet, but it's staying as one full, strong line, always taking the crown of the head to the ceiling as you go. And then you're going to do that one more time. And I want you to maintain that wonderful balance that we found between the big toe and the heel, and bring your body back to center so your body is balanced between left and right as well. Then we're going to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to feel like we're lifting the ribs up and over now, keeping the balance in both feet. And exhale, let's use those obliques to bring ourselves back to center. And again, inhale up and over with those ribs. And exhale, use those oblique muscles to bring yourself back. We're going to do that 3 more times. So we're going to go over to the left. And then exhale, bring everything back to the right. And again, inhale over to the side and back to center twice more. Let's lift, always feeling like we're growing and lengthening, even when we're bringing everything back to center. So we should feel like we've grown about a couple of centimeters by the end of this class. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to go to the side and we're going to bring everything back, noticing the balance changes within your body, really focusing on what that movement is doing and bring everything back to center. Now let's work in rotation. If you have any osteoporosis, I would like you to avoid this exercise. Take your hands across your chest, making an X. And I want you to keep your hips focused and facing me at the camera at all times. Don't let those hips wiggle about. We're going to exhale this time as we rotate, and then inhale and bring everything to center. And again, exhale to the side and inhale back to center. Making sure that it's the torso doing the movement, the ribs going one way, the hips going in the opposite direction. Thinking about keeping that length in the spine, so we're creating that feeling of lift as we rotate to one side and then to the other. For those of you that are finding this a bit too easy and you know you're not going to cheat, you can bring your arms out into this position so you're not taking the elbows and you're keeping the body about moving in the torso, not adding that extra elbow movement. We're going to do that one more time each side. So just taking the torso to the side and back to center. Good. And relax the arms down beside you. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what my body is doing. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in and we're going to go into our roll downs. And again, if you have osteoporosis, you want to avoid this exercise. Take a nice deep breath in, just going to let the head drop nice and heavy. You're going to lift up and over as you round and lift, just molding your spine over an object in front of you. Letting the head go, keeping the palms facing each other. I want you to inhale into your ribs here. And then lifting from your abdominals, so lift from that center. You're going to exhale and bring yourself back, stacking each little vertebrae one at a time on top of itself. And again, let's inhale and exhale, letting the head go, lifting up and over, keeping that weight forwards in the toes so you don't fall over. I want you to make sure that you're not rocking backwards, but you're not trying to fall over either. So you're going to inhale here and then exhale. We're going to lift and round that spine, get that tailbone underneath you to stack yourself back on top of itself. And again, inhale and exhale, rounding and lifting the spine up and over, feeling like you're lifting from your center. You're trying to lift yourself away from something that you're rounding your body over. Your weight is forwards in your toes, so I could slip a piece of paper. If you want to challenge yourself, lift those heels off the ground and work with your heels off the ground, if that feels appropriate for your body. We're going to do that one more time. You're going to inhale here. And exhale, rounding the spine, letting the head go, letting the neck hold no tension, letting the body fall up and over, soft knees. You're going to inhale here. And commanding yourself not to touch the floor. You're going to exhale and lift, 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 rounding your spine and bringing yourself back to center. Taking a nice deep breath in, you're going to start to float the arms up this time, so keeping the ribs and the hips attached to each other. Don't let the ribs lift to the ceiling. And then you're going to exhale and bring the arms down. Thinking about that connection between the ribs and the hips here, so as you take that arm up, you shouldn't see this happening. I want you to really maintain this connection between the ribs and the hips. It should feel like there's contraction happening in your abdominals, not stretching in your tummy. This time, let's add a little balance. So we're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet. So thinking about keeping those big toes pressing into the ground as you rise up. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower those heels down and bring the arms down with you. And we're going to do that again. We're going to inhale. We're going to rise, keeping the ribs and the hips engaged. Don't let those ankles wibble around. And then bring everything back. Good. I'm going to face you. Continue. So we're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet. Make sure that those ankles don't wiggle around like this. I want you to make sure that they stay engaged. If you need to put a rolled up towel between your ankles to help you stabilize, then please do so. And also don't go up as high. So inhale to rise and then exhale to bring them down. Good. One more time. We're going to stay up here. We're going to bring the arms up. Big toes pressing down. Turn the palms. Press the arms down so you're hovering. Take a nice deep breath in and you're just going to bend the knees. Keep them tracking over the toes. If it's too much for you, please place your feet down, your heels down on the ground. And again, bending in the knees. Keeping those knees tracking over those toes. Don't let them move. And again, bending at the knees. Good. And back up again, making sure the big toes are pressing into the ground evenly so you haven't got more weight between the left and the right. One more time. We're going to bend those knees. Hold it here. Lower those heels down. Press the arms down and grow the crown of the head to the ceiling. I'm going to turn to the side and we're going to look at a hip hinge now because we're going to use this for some more balance exercises. So at a hip hinge, all I want you to do is I want you to just hinge from the hips and then bend the knees, taking the bottom back. So it's effectively a little squat, okay? You might find that you lose balance a little bit like what I did then, but I want you to really think about finding that hinge first and then allowing the knees to bend, trying to make sure that those knees don't go forwards over those toes. But you also don't want to end up with this little archy thing going in your lower back. So really find that connection between the front and the back of the body. Find that balance of connection. And then bringing yourself back up again. And we're going to do that again. We're just going to hinge first and then take the bottom back, not allowing our back to take this, and standing back up again. And again, hinging first, then bending in the knees to take ourselves down. Good. And then up again. Now I'm going to face you. We're going to continue this. I want you to take your hands into this position, because we're all across the chest like this, or you can place the fingertips under the chin. It's up to you which one feels best for you. Take a nice deep breath in. We're going to exhale, we're going to hinge, then we're going to bend in the knee. Now, keeping that position, now this is not suitable for those of you with osteoporosis, so I want you just to keep hinging and bending. And you're just going to, those of you who don't have any osteoporosis, you're going to just rotate your torso slightly, bring everything back to center, and stand up. And again, we're going to bend those knees, keep them tracking over the toes, hinging at the hips, bottom going backwards. You're going to rotate just your torso and bring everything back to center and stay up. So sticking with this, if this feels enough for you today, so going down to this position, we're effectively doing some standing footwork from the reformer, which helps us find balance within the body. So those of you that have done reformer classes here at the studio, you'll know what I'm talking about, working evenly between left and right and trying to find that balance between not using the legs too much and then using the abdominals. So here again, this is where we're going to stick with if this is you today. One more time to the other side. It's getting warm in here. Good. And then bring everything back to center and stand up. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take that balance element and we're going to place it into the feet now. So on the reformer, you'd be doing on your toes. So we would work in our heels, which we've got our heels down. We would work on our toes. We'll work in a V position, and then we're going to work in a wider position. So we've done our heels on the ground. So if that feels enough for you today, then please just stick with that. But for the rest of us, we're going to take ourselves up onto the balls of the feet. So we're here. And then again, we're going to hinge and take the bottom backwards. We're going to rotate, balancing on the balls of our feet. Back to center and up. Keep the heels off the ground. And also what I want you to do is make sure that the heels don't get any higher and they don't go, whoopsie daisy, they don't get any lower. So when you come back up out of this position, those heels are staying at the same height. Those of you who've done reform with me, you will know what I mean by that, because I'm always telling you to keep your heels still. Stop letting them flap around in the wind. One more time, we're going to go to the other side. Whew. Keeping those abdominals connected so we're not taking this in our lower backs. Lovely. Now let's bring those heels together. Now this is like a little plie in ballet. If you have any knee issues, you may not find this exercise suitable for you. So maybe just stick with the heels in a parallel position. But again, you want to have a fist width distance apart. You can keep your heels on the ground for this if you feel that's more appropriate for you today. But if you feel like you want that extra challenge, then you can bring your heels off the floor. Now it's about finding that connection between the heels. So find that connection between those heels, not jamming the legs together. And I want you to feel like you're lifting, almost like you're plucking something up off the floor with your heels. And that will then transcribe into your inner thighs. We'll do that again. So keeping the heels together this time. We're going to bend the knees. Don't let them go wide. Keep them just going over the second toe. And you're coming forwards into that hip hinge. And then you're going to rotate. Keep squeezing those inner thighs together. Bring everything back and stand tall. And again, we're going to bend in the knees. We're going to rotate to the side. We're going to bring everything back to center and stand tall. And again, bend, keeping those knees. Don't let them go out too wide. Don't let them stay in. I want you to make them sure they're tracking in front of those toes. We're going to rotate to the side and back to center and standing tall. And again, bend those knees, hinging forwards. Let's find that rotation in the torso. Great for sports. And bringing ourselves up. Lovely. Now let's take our feet a little bit wider. So we're going to go a little bit wider. We're going to do those wide heels positions. So keeping that position now. Again, make sure when you bend your knees are going over your you can at least see your first and second toes, your big toe and your second toe. And again, we're going to bring ourselves into this position here, hinging forwards. We're going to find that rotation. Heels are going to stay on the ground as you come up. I'm going to go to the side. So it's a wider squat now, really. And again, you're going to press down into that position and you're going to rotate and back to center and stand up. So sticking with the heels on the ground, keeping that connection between the abdominals as you find that rotation, you're going to bring yourself up. We're going to do one more of these or continue in this position if this feels more appropriate for you. Now we're going to lift those heels off the ground. So let's lift those heels, hover them off the floor, big toes pressing down. We're going to bend and hinge. Holding that position, let's take ourselves into that rotation. Woo! And let's bring ourselves back to center and stand up, keeping those heels the same. And we're going to lower down. Really good for strengthening the ankle complex. And we're going to go back up again. And another go. We're going to go again. Whew. And we're going to rotate. Back to center and up one more time. Hinging forwards. Bottom going backwards. Rotating to the side. Back to center and back up again. Heels go down. Arms come down. Give everything. Give them everything a bit of a shake. Give those ankles. Give them a good old circle around because they've been doing such a good job. So let's give those ankles a little circle. Lovely. Good. We're going to look at single legs. So we're going to do a few single leg exercises now. So all I want you to do is I want you to stand with your leg behind you. Just your toe on the floor. So there's no pressure. You can take your leg off. There's no pressure here at all. And all you're going to do for me is you're going to keep your hands in this position or on your hips. So whatever feels more appropriate for you today. So you're just going to bend this front knee, keeping your hips square and let that leg go backwards. Now you can keep that leg on the ground and just drag it forwards and backwards. But I want you to make sure that that weight goes back. Okay? So we want to make sure that that weight goes back into that particular thing. We're going to turn to the other side and do exactly the same on the other side. So again, not having too much weight into that foot at the back here. You want to bend and hinge and take your body weight forwards. I'm going to demonstrate both of these from the front as well so you can see. So we're going to take that bottom backwards. So you should feel this here in your bottom. And again, you're going to go down and back up again. Taking that weight back into that heel and back again. So from the front, what we should be able to see is we shouldn't see these hips wiggling around. So when you go into that position, you shouldn't see this. Okay, you shouldn't see that. You should see this hip staying perfectly still and back up again. And then staying perfectly still, staying nice and square and back up again. Again on the other side. So just do 3 each side again. So straight away you can see my hips wanting to lift. There's an old historic injury in my body. So I have to be very focused on keeping that aligned, keeping my spine nice and long, finding this contraction in my abdominals and this nice even balance between my back and my abs. And again, we're going to just bend. A bit more difficult for me. And again, we're going to bend, taking that leg back. Again, if you need to hold on to something to help yourself out here, please, please, please hold on to something. And back up. Good. And then we're going to take it there. Brilliant. So let's take ourselves onto our mats. So let's see if we can find some balance here. So thinking about how you're sitting down. So if you're standing and you're on your mat, you can just bring yourself down nice and evenly. We're going to think about having the feet fist width apart here at the front. And we're going to think about the knees being fist width apart and finding those bits in our bottom, those bony bits in our bottom that allows us to sit tall and nice and open here. All I want you to do is just thinking about how that feels. So if you're sitting too far forward, you might feel this a bit too much in your hips and not enough in your abs, and it might feel like a stretch for your back. If you're rounded here, you might feel this a bit more in your abs here and like your lower back is opening up. But you want to find that balance between the front and the back. So both are working efficiently. You're going to think about the crown of the head reaching up to the ceiling. And all you're going to do is open up through your collarbones. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. And you're going to exhale, take the arms away. You're going to roll down through your spine, breathing out. So thinking about getting the tailbone underneath you as you go down. We're going to stop about halfway. Really give me a little bit more pubic bone to nose. Reach the legs away from you as you inhale and bring yourself up. Find that connection between the ribs and the hips. And again, exhale, slide that tailbone underneath you. Reach those legs away. Try not to grip in the bottom because that's only going to go into your hip flexors. You're going to hold it here. Inhale. Exhale, give me a bit more pubic bone to nose. And then inhale, and we find that seat. And again, we're going to exhale, slide that tailbone underneath us, really reach those legs away. So we're coming back to finding our balance point every single time. Find that pubic bone to nose as you draw your body forwards and back up to find that balance. And again, we're going to exhale, slide that tailbone underneath you, really making sure that both sides are working for you. You're not putting more weight into your left or your right. You're going to inhale. Exhale, giving more pubic bone to nose. And then inhale and bring the body up, 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 up. And here we go. We're going to go all the way down with a pause in between. So let's exhale. Let's roll down through the spine, breathing out. Holding it here. You're going to inhale. Now, if you need to, take the back of your legs, or if not, bring those heels a bit closer and exhale. Let's get that lower back down. Let's hold it here. Bring the heels a little bit more close. And then let's exhale and bring the body down. Bring the arms down beside you. Feet and knees together here, guys. Let's take the toes out into a small V and then bring the heels out. So again, we're back in our base position. Everything is aligned. Everything is balanced. And we're just going to lie here on the ground with our palms facing up the ceiling. Close your eyes for me and I'll talk you through the rest. So as we're lying here on the ground, I really would like you to take a moment to scan your body. How does your body feel? Is it feeling like it's balanced on the mat, or do you feel like you've got one side putting more pressure into the mat than the other? If you have something like scoliosis, for example, that will be a normal movement pattern for you. That will be a normal feeling. You could put a bit of padding underneath the sides that feel a little bit heavier to give you a bit more lift. But I just want you to take that moment just to scan through the shoulders, through the ribs, through the hips, through the feet, and through the arms. And just really find that balance within your body and just play around with it a little bit if you need to. Really think about that. And just take some moments to breathe too. So let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And let's exhale through the mouth, breathing out. If you can hear the music, it's outside the studio, it's not in here, so I do apologize. But I really want you to focus on this breath. So really just try and drown any other distractions out and focus solely on your breathing. So you're going to take a nice moment to breathe in and think about how that sounds and feels within your own body. And is your breathing balanced? Do you feel like your breathing, is your inhalation more difficult than your exhalation? And then as you exhale on the next breath, I just want you to think about drawing your pelvic bones towards you without squeezing your bum. Pressing your lower back into the ground, really thinking about that connection in the pelvis. And then you're going to release your pelvis back to center. And again, you're going to exhale. You're going to draw your pelvic bones towards you. And inhale, bring it back to center. Now we're going to think about the pelvis being the center of a clock. Lovely openness in the abdominals. And then you're going to bring your pelvis back to your center and then take it in towards 6 o'clock without really lifting up in the rib cage or taking this into your lower back. And again, you can place your fingertips together and your palms together on your pelvis to do this. So you can really feel whether when your pelvis moves through what we call neutral and when it moves to 6 or 12 o'clock. And then bring everything back so it feels balanced. And then I want you to do the same going left to right. So your 3 and your 9 o'clock. So you're going to take your pelvis down towards 3 o'clock, keeping the knees still. And then you're going to draw the pelvis back through center to 9 o'clock. And you're just going to move the pelvis from side to side. It's very, very small. And I want you to focus on those obliques. So really get this movement happening from those muscles in the side of your body, your oblique muscles. Get those guys doing the work. There's no tension happening in the body. It's very, very small. And then we're going to bring that back so it's balanced. Again, evenly distributed. And then we're going to make that into a circle. So we're going to explore time. So we draw the pelvic bones towards us, and then we're going to go around in a circle, taking the tailbone down to 6 o'clock, then through to 9 o'clock, and back to 12. Carry on. We're going to do 3 more rotations this way, keeping those knees nice and still. So we're moving the pelvis around in a circle, really exploring how that feels within our bodies. There's no tension happening. We've got 1 more circle to go this way, and then we're going to go back the other way. So let's go back through time, and then we go the other way. So let's go to 9 o'clock, towards 9, towards 6, towards 3, and back to 12. So we are literally turning back time, 4 rotations in this direction, working on that stability in the pelvis, that stability in the knees, and that balance within the body. This is the last time. We're going to bring everything back to center and find that evenness within our pelvis. Then we're just going to turn the palms down so they're pressing into the floor evenly. Bring the heels a little bit closer to your bottom if you need to. And we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Let's exhale. Let's draw the pelvic bones to 12 o'clock. And then let's start to take the weight into the feet. Make sure you've got evenness between left and right. Keeping the lower back on the ground now. Keep drawing the pelvic bones towards 12 o'clock whilst the feet are pressing into the mat. Then when you can't go any further, you're going to have to squeeze those glutes and lift, lift, lift. You should feel this in your hamstrings. You're going to bring your pelvis up, up, up. Here, really give me a little bit more pubic bone to nose. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale and peel the spine down through. Notice whether you're going down more onto your left or your right side. And again, you're going to exhale, draw the pelvic bones towards you. Make sure you're pressing into those feet evenly. And you're going to peel your spine up, up, up. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can take your arms up or place them here. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale and peel each little vertebrae, pressing into the mat before it comes off and as it comes down. Think of it as a springboard to elevate your bottom off the ground. So really pressing those vertebrae down into the mat to lift, pressing your feet into the ground. You're going to hold it here. You're going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale, peeling your spine down to the ground until that tailbone comes home to balance. 1 more time. Let's exhale. Let's draw the pelvic bones towards us and let's press the feet into the mat. Lift, 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 lift. Inhale here and exhale and peel yourself down. You're going to bring the arms out into a T beside you. So I want you to think about creating this width and balance, not allowing one arm to press more into the floor than the other. Ensure that the hands are not higher than the shoulders. And if it feels more appropriate for you today, I want you to keep your feet on the ground. You're going to go into your spine twist supine. So option 1, keeping the feet on the ground, especially those of you that may feel this in your hips or in your lower back. So I want you just to think about taking the pelvis. You're almost feeling like this beautiful wrapping feeling is happening in the ribs and the hips. T-tail being wrung out, the ribs going one way, the hips going another, and then exhale. Bring everything back towards center. And again, we're going to go to the other side as we inhale. And again, that beautiful feeling of wrapping. And exhale and bring everything back to center. Now, staying with this if you have lower back issues, or if you don't feel like it's going to be beneficial for you. For those of you that do, you're going to don't have any problems. You're going to bring your leg up to tabletop. 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, and then you're going to bring the other leg up to tabletop, squeezing those knees together. I want you to imagine you've got the winning lottery ticket in that room. You're going to inhale. You're going to do exactly the same, making sure that these knees stay aligned so they aren't odd. I want you to make sure that you have this wonderful feeling of alignment, this balance in the knee. So this top knee should be slightly higher than this knee, and it should look like a slope, not a step. And then bringing back, using those obliques to help you move your body. Now again, if you feel this in your hips or your lower back, please bring your legs back to the ground. And again, we're going to inhale, take the knees over to the side, and then exhale and bring it back. If you're in my intermediate class, you can do this with your legs extended and your arms in the air, so you can Work on creating that balance here. One more time. In any of the positions that you are doing, back to center. Now we're going to fold at the knees. We're going to take one leg down, tap the ground, and bring it back up again. Now, if you've got your feet on the ground already, you're just going to do this with one leg lifting and keep one leg on the ground, your single leg lift. You're going to inhale to take that leg down without the back moving and exhale to bring it up. If you feel your back is moving forwards and backwards, I want you to keep your one leg on the ground. You're going to work from here. You're going to lower that leg down without the whole body moving and bring it up. So it's moving from the hip. It's the hip hinge that's going on here. Good. And then those of you who have been doing this a bit longer and you're maybe in my intermediate class, then you're going to do your opposites and you're going to change at the same time. Making sure that back does not move a millimeter. It's got to stay perfectly still. Making sure that the rib cage doesn't lift as you take your arms back. That's the challenge. We're going to do one more, finding this balance on both sides. So even movement, even though one side is doing something different. And we're going to bring everything back to center. If your legs are on the ground, you're going to take one leg down to the ground and then the other leg down to the ground. You're going to interlock your fingers and you're going to place them behind your head. I want you to scoop into your shoulders. We're going to do 5 little chest lifts. Take a nice deep breath in, nod the chin to the chest, look at your knees for me. You're going to exhale, you're going to bring yourself up. If you need a little bit more height, give yourself that lift, but don't let your pelvis come back towards you. And then you're going to exhale and go down. And again, inhale here. Exhale, breathing out, bringing yourself up. And you're going to inhale and exhale and go down. And again, inhale. Nodding the chin, looking at your knees. Don't let your eyes look at the ceiling. Keep them looking here. Again, if you need that extra help to get yourself up today, please do. Bring the arms back. Keep your height and bring yourself down. Last time. Exhale. Inhale here. And then exhale and bring the head down. Let's find that length in the body. Stretch, stretch, stretch. You're going to inhale, bring the head and the shoulders forwards. Look at those toes. Take the back of the legs. Bring yourself up or bring yourself up unaided if you can. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to have the feet out in front of us. And I want you to really find that balance on those sits bones. So you can see that I sit a little bit too far forward. So I want to bring myself back. So I'm sitting balanced. I'm going to take my hands across the chest. I'm going to do a little spine twist. Now, if you find that you aren't sitting right up on top of your sits bones, bend your knees. That'll bring you into a more balanced position, so you'll be able to be a little bit more lifted. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. You're going to exhale 2 little presses. Press, press, inhale back to center. And we're going to press, press, and back to center. Press, press, back to center. Press, press, and back to center. You're going to take the arms out in front of you, take the legs wider, take a nice deep breath in. It's our roll down seated, so it's our spine stretch. I want you to let your head drop, and then you're going to exhale. You're going to reach your body up and over something. Here, inhale, and exhale, stack your spine. I want you to imagine that your back is against the wall here, so we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Let the head go down. You're going to exhale. You're going to lift up and over. Find that reach. Inhale. Don't let the shoulders eat your ears. And then exhale and find that seat. Bring the legs in. And again, this is an exercise that may not be suitable for everybody. If the prep feels the best thing for you today, let's stick with the prep. But we're going to do rolling like a ball because it's all about balance. It's all about finding that balance in movement and finding that balance at the top end of the exercise and at the bottom. So we're finding suspension. I want you to press your shins into your hands. Keep your feet off the ground. And you're just going to scoop into your abdominals a little way. Feel like you're lifting your sits bones to the ceiling. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to bring yourself back to that balance point. And again, you're going to inhale back, really using those abdominals, and then bring yourself back to that balance point. So this might be as far as you want to go today, and that's absolutely fine. I want you to be very strict with yourself and make sure that the gap between your heel and your bottom stays the same, and your forehead and your knee stays the same, even in your prep. The more you go back, the more you're going to want to bring your legs forwards like this to cheat, okay? For those of you who want to do the full exercise, all we're going to do is think about finding that balance as we inhale back. Exhale and inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Really working on finding that balance. For my intermediate group, if you want to, then you can go into your open leg rocker. So you're going to sit in this position and you are going to inhale back, exhale, find that balance, inhale, find that suspension, exhale, find that balance. Good, you guys carry on. I'm going to do 2 more of those. And then when you finish, I want you to lengthen your legs out in front of you. You're going to take a nice deep breath in and you're going to exhale and you're going to roll down through your spine. And we're going to bend our top knee, take our arm back, and we're just going to roll over onto our side so we can go into our side lift. Palm facing up to the ceiling, hand in front of you. Think about the collarbone staying nice and wide. You're going to squeeze your legs together. Really think about stacking your joints, hips, knees, ankles, shoulders, and ribs. Really finding that length, feet slightly further forward of your line. Hand in front of you if you need to. You're going to bring the legs off the floor in a hovering position, and then you're going to exhale. You're going to bring the legs up using the muscles here in your waist. And then inhale, hover the legs off the floor, never let them touch. And again, we're going to exhale, use those obliques. And inhale, we're going to hover. And exhale, let's use those obliques. And inhale, hover. And then if it feels good to do so, you can place your hand on your thigh and continue doing this in this position. So we're going to do 2 more here. Let's exhale to lift and inhale to hover. And we're going to exhale to lift and inhale to hover. 1 more time. Let's exhale to lift and inhale to hover here. Good. Let's hold it there. Let's find that length. Let's find that hover. Let's bring that arm up off the ground. Let's find our balance. Keep our center. And then bring it down. Whoopsie daisy. Lower those legs down. And we're going to bring ourselves up into our mermaid. Sitting with your arms wide, really thinking about those collarbones. This again is about balance. So I want you to bring that body up. Find that balance until you can't hold it any longer. You're going to peel down through and find that reach over to the side. And then you're going to inhale now. Try and find that balance to lift up and over to the other side and find that stretch. And again, you're going to lift up and as long as you can before you have to work through that arm. And then bring yourself up and over. We're just going to do 1 more time, up and over. So let's lift ourselves up, find that length, and working through that position. Good. Lovely. Let's bring ourselves up, and then we're just going to change legs. Change that position. From here, find that reach. We're going to lift up again, holding that as long as we can until we have to peel down to find that up and over feeling. And again, we're going to do exactly the same to bring ourselves up and over onto this side. And again, lifting up, 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 up until we can't hold it any longer and we have to use that supporting arm. And we're going to lift up and over here and take ourselves here. Good. 1 more time, either side, really finding that length, that balance within the body as we think about moving our torso. And then all we're going to do from here is we're just going to bring ourselves down onto our side for side 2. Palm facing up, legs nice and long, head nestled and relaxed on your arm. Again, thinking about stacking those joints, hips, knees, ankles, ribs and shoulders. Hand in front of you, soften that shoulder, take a nice deep breath in as you hover those legs off the ground. And then exhale, use that waistline, pressing this down into the ground, working from here. And then you're going to inhale, you're going to hover those legs off the ground again. And again, we're going to exhale to lift and inhale to hover. Exhale to lift and inhale to hover. And again, if it feels appropriate, take the hand onto your leg, reach your fingertips to your toes, and we're going to go up. That's not working for me today. It is mighty warm in here, I have to say. We said summer school. Oh. So let's lift and hover. We're going to do one more here. We're going to exhale. We're going to lift and we're going to hover those legs off the floor. We're going to take that arm up. We're going to give ourselves a balance here. We're going to hold it. And then we're going to bring that hand down. We're going to lower those legs down and we're going to turn over onto our front in a prone position for our back extension. So we're going to look at the balance between the left and the right here. So we're going to do this with both hands on the ground to start with, and then we're going to work into the rest, so onto the left and onto the right. So let's place our right hand on top of our left hand, have the legs slightly apart behind us, and have your forehead on your hands. Really find that length in your torso. I want you to feel like you're trying to get your legs away from you. And as you're doing that, your tailbone feels like it's trying to get away from you and you're lifting up in the abdominals. So you're drawing your pubic bone to your nose a little. Now I want you to keep that position going in the lower half of the body. Keep that energy flowing. And then from here, think about pulling the armpits down to the hips. You're going to lift your face and your neck away from your hands and feel like you're keeping your ribs on the ground. Please think about rolling something out from underneath your chest. You're going to, as you exhale, you're going to keep all of that going as you lower your forehead down to your hands. And again, as you inhale, feel like you're reaching your armpits down to your hips. You're maintaining that position in your abdominals. Your ribs are staying on the ground, but you're rolling something out from underneath you and then back down again. Twice more. Let's find that inhalation, find that connection, working into that thoracic extension and down. One more time. We're going to inhale as we lift. Find that extension, find that length in the body. Really feel like the crown, the head and the toes are trying to get as far away from each other as possible. And then exhale and we come down. Now let's keep the right hand attached to the forehead. And we're going to keep the right hand on the forehead, the elbow has to come off the ground, and the left side is going to stay down. So it's going to do exactly the same exercise, but now we want to keep that balance in the body, so don't let your left side lift or rotate more as you do this. So here we go. So let's find that length in the tail, let's find that length in the legs, let's find that lift in the abdominals, let's find that connection in the lower back. Now maintain that position for me. As you inhale, let's bring that right off the ground. Ribs staying down, find that reach, keeping that position, and we're going to exhale. Let's do two more on this side. We're inhale and exhale, keeping those ribs on the ground, and exhale. Take it down. Let's swap hands. Put the left on top of the right hand now. The left hand is stapled to your forehead. You cannot let it stay on the right. The right hand is going to stay down. Make sure the left elbow comes with you. Let's find that lift. And again, keep those hips nice and square. Don't let the body rock around. And again, we're going to counter rotate. So keep that position. And down. And one more time. And place the hands beside your shoulders. Push your bottom back onto your heels and stretch out your back. You're going to stay here and just find that comfortable position as you breathe. 3 nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, inhale. And exhale. Bringing tissues, I suggest you grab a box and you can place if you need to, if you need to. Okay, so let's place the hands underneath the shoulder with your wrists. I want you to push, flatten that neck out. I want you to imagine you can have your dinner balanced on your back. Don't let your arms go into hypermobility, so keep your elbows soft and try and keep the elbows looking at each other. Now slide that tailbone, lift from, let the head go between the arms. So you're really trying to draw your pubic bone. That's it. And then you're going to inhale. I want you to find that same back extension. Don't lift. I want you just to keep the eyes on the ground. Extending away from you, we're reaching the bone forwards, but you're staying this wonderful lift in your abdominals. And again, exhale, slide that tailbone underneath you all the way through. And then reaching that extension. And again, exhale, slide the bone underneath you and lift, 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 lift. Time, let's find that beautiful extension on that inhalation. And then everything back to a flat back, toes under. Let's see if we can here. Or we're going keeping the back in a straight position. I want you to inhale here. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Inhale. And exhale, lower those knees off the ground, down to the ground. And one more time, let's inhale, hover those knees off the floor. Good, one more inhalation. And exhale, good. Let's take ourselves back onto our body. Let's give our wrists a good old stir. So let's stir those wrists around, giving them a good old, and a shake. Let's give those guys a good old shake. Lovely. So from here, bring yourself up onto your knees. We're going to find that balance point as we go backwards. I want you to have your arms out in front of you. Imagine you're holding on to, potentially you could use a magic circle for this if you wanted to add extra abdominal work. So I'll show you here with the circle. So as you lean back, I want you to press from your armpits into your circle. And as you come forwards, I want you to squeeze the circle a bit more, but give me more scoop in your abdominals. So we're going to inhale, we're going to lean back, thigh stretch. Exhale, scoop and press as you breathe out. And again, inhale, we go back. Exhale, scoop and press. And again, we're going to inhale to go back. And exhale, scoop and press. One more time. Inhale to go back. Exhale, scoop and press. Now, if you can, from here, I want you to bring one leg forwards. And then you're going to bring yourself up, balance here. And then you're going to take that leg back down again and swap legs. We're going to take that leg up. We're going to bring ourselves up to a balance. We're going to take that leg down and bring that leg down again. Last time on each side. Leg comes forwards, up to a balance, down to the ground, back to knees. Last time, we're going to stay up now. We're going to bring that leg up. Bring ourselves to a balance, hold it there, place that foot down, take a nice deep breath in, let the arms drop, exhale, lifting up and over. You can allow your circle to come down to the ground. And you're going to inhale here, you're going to exhale, you're going to lift up, 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 up. As you rise, you're going to take your arms up, rise up onto the balls of the feet, have a little balance, lower the heels down. Let the head go, let the arms go, lifting up and over. I'm going to come down onto the ground one more time. Let's roll down through the spine. Inhale here. And exhale, lifting all the way up. We're going to rise up onto the balls of our feet here. So holding that position. Turn the palms. Press the arms down. Find the crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. And again, inhale, taking the arms up. Turn the palms, lower the heels down, press the arms out as you reach the crown of the head up. Just make sure that your feet are balanced underneath you. We're going to go one more time here. Press the palms, reach the crown of the head all the way to the ceiling, lower the arms down, and give yourselves a very good round of applause. And I hope you enjoyed your class today that was all about balance.